welcome to a rather short stream on this Friday. Yeah, as I've mentioned, this will be a rather short stream where I'll do some work on implementing a render to texture pipeline that we can bind to our texture viewer here. During the last episodes, I've been changing the whole rendering structure, the API. So yeah, I kind of like wanted to be able to do that. Um. So yeah. So I want to create a pipeline that uses the create custom texture and then binds it to ImGUI. So create custom texture. Let's see. Let's do something like ImGUI button generate. Just a sec. Need to change the music here. Let's see. Generate noise. And if we click that button, we would like to call create custom texture, which should do a backend call. Where we do something like void render to texture pass. I still haven't cleaned up the whole what do you call it? Enum stuff. I definitely need to do that. Render to texture viewport rect. Let's create some viewports and rects for that. Whoops. Also, I need to commit the changes to the GitHub. Render refactor 2. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably gonna change this. Okay. And let's do a render to texture pipeline where we inside that viewport and rect. Let's do a viewports DX12 viewports and rects. Not regular. Render to texture. Width, let's do 128. And let's just copy this. Basically, we could also just do viewport. Let's do this. It's probably easier to read anyway. Doesn't really matter. Right. Top left. And then let's do a rect pointer. Scissor rects. DX12 viewport and rects. Shadow map. No. Into texture dot. Now let like this. P-rect. Left. And usually I set it to this, right? Top left. Long. I think so. Oh, 0, top 0, and then, okay. Yeah, we could set it to the top left, whatever. It's the same, but no need to use the pointer. Right equals the top left x plus or minus. Oh, is it the other way around? Yeah, I think so. Right. This is the way, I think. Oh, we simply yeah, okay. Okay, we set our rects, viewports, and our scissor rect, and then inside our renderer, let's do render to texture. And maybe we want to be able to create a kind of like we want to be able to specify a position, but as you will see, eventually it won't matter since it's a render to texture, and we will simply draw to the whole viewport. But we probably want a position for the vertex, and then we could use a UV in order to kind of like, yeah, if we wanted to use a texture for sampling or combining with our pipeline. Yeah, so let's see. And let's do this standard pipeline pointer, m pipelines, p pipeline, maybe just reference the pipelines, DX12 pipelines. Yeah, I basically changed this style here in the middle of everything, but we don't care. Pipeline topology is simply triangle list. We really probably don't care which pipeline we're using. Should we just create the empty one? We'll just create it with the regular root signature. It really doesn't matter at all. Initialize. Oh, the pipeline itself. Initialize with root signature, and we will get our device. We will get our regular root signature. We will create it with triangles. We will have to create some shaders. Let's see. Render to text. We will specify that as the directory and use a pixel and a vertex shader. We will pass along this, and we will use a root signature. Blend mode. Do we really care? Do we end up actually... Oh, it's the transparent one. That's why I'm confused. Okay. The rest could just be standard. Okay. There we go. And then we want the pipeline here. Set get set name. Maybe we could even just access the pointer itself, but render to texture pipeline. And then we need some buffers, and let me delete this new because it's no longer new, it's the standard one. And we attach the buffer. We forgot to set a name here. Skybox. shadow map. Okay. Then we need to bind a texture. Basically, I've been thinking that maybe this shouldn't be called depth stencil, constant buffer, structured buffer, stuff like that, but yeah, these are basically pointers, com pointers that are not initialized. So we can do it for now. It's not because we're messing up the cache or doing anything particularly wasteful by storing a extra pointer in that struct. Although we could like keep the buffers as just a pointer and then reference that pointer, or rather store those pointers somewhere else, but yeah, doesn't really matter. Okay, so our pipeline here will have a SRV. Didn't we just add that? Maybe I didn't. Yes, I did. Didn't I save it or? Huh. SRV. It should be. What? SRV. Huh? Okay, we have some problem. Override specifier. Oh, renderer. Yeah, we don't want to create a renderer on that one. Anyway, we need some kind of like initialization method for a texture. And if we simply look into the implementation of creating a texture here, we basically create a empty texture here. And we created a, what do you call it? And when we create an empty resource, yeah, it's basically an empty resource. And when we do that, it will just be a, well, maybe we can try that. Okay. Okay. Let's try compiling that. Okay, we of course haven't created our stuff here, so we need to do that. Let's do a pixel shader and a vertex shader. Let's exclude these from our project and see if we are allowed to compile. We are. Okay. And our, huh? Oh. Yeah, so we're in trouble when we kind of like combine these two things in the same panel. Because it seems like we're kind of like unable to yeah, we definitely need to look into that. Okay, but anyway, let's do gxe core print. Try to run create custom texture, and let's do a DX12 renderer. Create, wasn't that render to texture pass is actually our call here. Yeah, and basically we should do some stuff like set viewport. Let's do render to texture viewport. Okay. We could clear the buffers, but we don't want to. We instead want a render target view. Let's see, create buffers. Do we even need? Do we need to create it as a render target? I guess we do. Do we want to create another RGB heap? I guess. I guess it's fine to like have the swap chain stuff separate it out. Let's do a DX12 descriptor heap. I think I'm allowed to implement that as a RTV one, right? Let's see, initialize, type, descriptors, shader visible. Yeah, it's not shader visible as far as I remember. Flags none. No, it's not visible. Okay, so we could basically do that. We could do DX12 descriptor heap, custom RTV heap. Okay. Yeah. So we have some of that set up. And then, oh, that's the debug one. Then we want the custom RTV heap to be initialized. Let's create a custom heap here, false. Okay, and we probably RTV creation, and let me see inside our swap chain here. We simply create it with a null descriptor. Okay. Uh, let's do. Huh. Let me just. So the buffers here are basically empty, and we're allowed to do that. Get buffer. Get buffer. Oh, this creates it for us actually. So yeah, we're in trouble if we pass along an empty buffer. Yeah. Okay, so we probably need some kind of like pipeline SRV here, initialize function of some kind. Um, okay, let's see. Let's peek at the resource thing here. Const unsigned int width unsigned int height. Let's see. const dx d3d, please. What's the resource state? Enum. Maybe it's just, no, it's just the flags I want. Flags. Let's do initial state. Yeah, so it can't probably can't discriminate, right? Right now, these are the same, these are the same, these are the same, these are the same, but it has a fourth parameter, so it doesn't care, yeah. Okay. Let's create it on the default heap. And let's create a how do we want to create a texture? Can't remember how it's done, so let's see if we look into this. Resource dimension, blah, blah, blah. So the resource dimension is, let's see, text, texture. Let's just copy this. And okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think we should be fine filling out this stuff normally. Okay. So let's just copy a lot of it. Height. Format unknown. Can I do that? What's the texture layout actually? Let's see our layout. Okay, we have simply. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Let's copy this. Do we want to specify format as well? Maybe we do. Let's do flags here. Layout. We don't specify a layout, it seems. Yeah. That's unknown, default heap, unknown. The rest is null, fine. Should be fine here. Okay. There we go. Okay, so this should be initialize as a texture 2D. Initialize as a depth buffer. Initialize as a data buffer. Data. Okay. So I'm getting closer and closer to the end of this stream here, since as I've mentioned at the start, I don't have a lot of time to do stuff, but today, but we're getting really close here. Can I use a unknown format? I don't know. Let's try it though. Okay, so let's minimize that and do something like srv initialize. My comment doesn't show. Oh. Let's do a 128 time, and Let's do maybe, I don't know, common is probably what we want. And then allow render target here. And let's create a render target view with our resource pointer here. And a null pointer here to our descriptor. And then let's ask our custom RTV heap here, get CPU handle 0. And simply pass that in. And let's see if we're actually allowed to do all of this stuff here. We do have some kind of problem. Oh, I forgot that I did that. Okay. Okay, so we have a problem here. So we have a problem somewhere when we try to compile the pipeline stuff, I think. Did we not? Is it because this needs to be cleaned or what? Float for one. And then, oh, wait a minute. Uh, void, I guess. And then this. Okay. Okay. Or, okay. Ah, okay. Thank you, DirectX debug. Let's do a stock vertex shader output where we do a float for screen clip space position, SV position, and we return a vertex shader output and vertex shader output. Okay. Bytecode was 0. Let's see. Alright, not completely initialized. Okay. Equals a float 4 where we there we go. The W component is equal to that. Let's see. Yeah, so we load the debug primitives, render to text. That's fine. Okay. What's the problem then? Why do we crash? Why do we crash? Did I enable some stuff that I didn't want to enable, or because okay. Let me try stepping through all this stuff because I mean debug primitives, render to texture. Okay, let's see, do we crash before this point? Nope, not that. Okay, we're fine so far. Okay, something happens in there. Is it because what? Yeah, we do have some kind of error message. Let's see, H result. And let's try to convert it into hex then. Whoops, calculator here. Programmer, we have this in hex that is 887A. Okay. Hardware error. That's not what we want. Huh. For some reason. Let me try disabling this for now. And let's see if we still crash. No, we don't. So it might be related to some of the stuff here. This is fine then. Okay, so that's not the problem. Let's see, the RTV shouldn't be, the RTV heap should not be the problem either. Okay, maybe we crash our device by trying to create, yeah. So it's related to that thing. Oh, we actually have an error. Okay. Yeah, I think we need the newer shader model. Okay, so we need a format. Well, since we kind of like, let's see, kind of like our formats. We're into that, specifying a texture format anyway, so we might as well. And if you recall, I was in doubt whether I was actually allowed to create a texture with an unknown format. So let's see. We want a uh, uh, let's see, DXGI format here. So what should our texture be encoded in? Well, we're probably not going to use the alpha, and maybe we want to store color information in our thingy. But I'm thinking that maybe we only want to store a single value. I mean, this is the classic one, but we probably don't need that high of a resolution for a noise texture. If we create a grayscale noise texture, we only want like probably the amount of white or black. Let's do this format here for a start. There we go. And let's see. This should run now, right? Yeah, we're good. Okay. And then we bind it to a render target view so we can actually render to it. Then inside our pipeline here, we want to set our render target view, and we simply do like this. Now like this. Okay, our render target view handle is our custom render target view heap. And let's get it's the CPU handle, so let's get the CPU handle here, and then let's, oh, this is null pointer, right? Depth stencil descriptor, it's null single handle. I actually can't remember what that flag does, but this should be fine, I think. And if we push this button, we should actually run this thingy here. Ran render to texture pass. Yeah, we do it. Okay, the calling function here doesn't need to do that. Okay. So basically, as you can see, it doesn't mess up anything in terms of our game application running. So it will just be added to, oh, wait a minute. Okay. Layout, okay. Huh. Why doesn't it whine when we run in debug mode? Does it whine, but no, it doesn't whine. I think at least we have a lot of different resources here. Well, it doesn't whine. Now that is super weird. Why does it whine inside this? Layout is unrecognized. There we go. So I just ended up with garbage values inside the struct. Well, okay, so yeah, I definitely didn't remember setting anything to 3, so yeah, that's why it probably ran in debug mode and not in release mode, because the value wasn't set to 0. Anyway, yeah, I'm getting really close to not having any more time for today, so let me try to finish this up. Let's see. Let's do something like this. Pipeline. P pipe. Isn't that beautiful? DX12 pipeline type. Render to texture. There we go. Oh, we need to do like this pipeline dot. Yeah, there we go. And then let's set the topology as well. Oh, yeah. P pipe topology. I'm not sure this is way better in terms of readability, but let's also bind the standard stuff here to our render to texture. Okay. We set the topology. We set the index and vertex buffers. Okay. We don't need to set any resources as far as I remember. And we do something like draw indexed instance. And we simply draw 3 indices. We do 1 instance. We do start location 0, 0, 0. We will not use any vertices in this pipeline anyway. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so let's see if everything runs without crashing. Oh, we do have some kind of error here. Hello, buddy. I'm Oh, I actually have a standard format for the render target. Well, okay. I guess we will just use that for now. Let's see. What did we? Yeah. So it's actually it's because it's set inside the pipeline state. Let's do so. It's with an alpha channel as well. It's this one. Okay. So we should at least get rid of that error. And then what's the other error? The depth stencil format. Uh, okay, so we need to make sure that our render to texture pipeline here doesn't use a depth stencil. Let's see. Okay, let's do a Oh, do we really need to add it as the last flag here? I guess I'm out of time, so I'll just do it. I'll just do it. Well, rasterize mode. Maybe we want a separate rasterize mode instead. We could do something like rasterize mode. Let's see. That's number one. 0 is if rasterize mode equals 2, then we don't use any depth stuff. Now let's do if rasterize mode equals 0 or equals 1, we do it like this. If it's equal to 2, we do what did it want us to set? Unknown. Let's do okay. DSV format unknown false. Hello and welcome. I'll be closing or rather shutting down the stream momentarily because I gotta go, but yeah, I would love for this to get fixed before I go. Let's see, pixel shade, I don't need that, don't need that. Where did we, there we go. So, let's see, this is our rasterized state, right? No, it's the blend mode. Let's just use 0 and then a 2 here, right? Because blend mode, yeah, 2 and blend mode is just the same, okay. Okay, we have no more errors. Okay, So that's great. Let's see if we push the button here. Uh, yeah. Yeah, we need to set it to a render target, of course. So usually we do this inside a function like this. Render target. We don't need to do anything up here, but here we want to transition from a D3D state common, and we want to transition our thingy here, key pipe, srv dot get right. Isn't that the thing we pass in? Yeah, we do. And then we change it back by swapping these two values here. There we go. This should be fine. Yeah, now we have no errors. What I want to do is kind of like bind this resource up here to ImGUI. And we want the pipeline here. And let's see, get view. We also want to create a view on it. Let's see, set name first. Texture, render to texture target. And then create resource view. And let's DX12 resource texture 2D. And we should actually bind this to the ImGUI thingy. This is fine. So yeah, this should work, and we should see our texture right now in our texture viewer changing. Yeah, we do. Great stuff. Okay. And it's probably the first one then. So inside this panel here, let's try rendering the first texture. Right now we should not see anything. Yeah, we have an empty texture here because we do not actually render anything. Okay. Let's just... Oh, it's an interaction between that stuff. Okay, let me just create a temporary panel here because we have a bug here. Temp ImGUI end. There we go. Yeah, I'll definitely fix that. Okay, so we ran that stuff. Right now we do not render anything into our, what do you call it, texture, because all we've done is Let's see. Let's close the initialize function. This is not used right now, but we can access it later. So we do our pass here where we set our viewport and scissor rect and blah blah blah, and we render 3 indexed vertices, which we really do not care about at all. So let's look up the HLSL semantic vertex index. Let's see, input. SV vertex ID, system value. Okay. Let's add a, is it a uint or something? I don't know. Unsigned int, vertex index. Let's try that. Yeah, we don't have any problems doing that. So let's do a manipulation here. Position equals, or rather just initialize it as 0, 0, 1, and 1. And then set position x equal to vertex index. If it's 2, we do 3.0. If not, we do -1. And then we do this for the last vertex here. And let's do output CS position equals position, yeah. There we go. So as you can see, we immediately render a white texture. So that's pretty great. Let's change our pixel shader color so that you can see it actually is our pixel shader itself that does stuff. Yeah, so you can see we definitely do get a different color. So yeah, that's basically it when you want to render to a texture. And of course we will make our pixel shader here do some noise stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't have time to do it right now, sadly. So we will definitely need to work on the noise stuff here in the next episode, and I also need to clean up some of the bugs that are in here and make the ImGUI coupling better. But yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, this was somewhat of a speed run. Anyway, it ended up working. Yeah. Yeah. So this of course needs to be offset in the build system. Here we need another index, and I definitely need a better. Did I increase it? No, I didn't. A better kind of like system in order to kind of like map out our icons here. But yeah, that's it for now. I'll probably do some more streaming tomorrow, where we will build on the noise system here. Procedurally generated textures is the goal, and then clean up the different bugs. And yeah, hopefully it'll be fun and interesting. Thanks to everyone who tuned in and supported the channel. Feel free to comment, like, or subscribe, or join the Discord server. Please take care, everyone, and keep on trucking. Bye bye.